Is China preparing for another intrusion into Ladakh? What else explains the activities on the ground? For the last 2 days, we have been closely studying some satellite images. Unfortunately, we don't have the rights to broadcast those images tonight, but we can tell you what we have learned over the last 48 hours. China has completed the construction of a 400-meter bridge across the Pangong Lake in Ladakh. This bridge is extremely close to the LAC, or the line of actual control between India and China. It is just 25 kilometers away. It was in early 2022 that we first saw the satellite images of construction of this bridge. The bridge is now completed. It reportedly cuts the travel distance by 50 to 100 kilometers, and it also reduces the travel time by several hours. So essentially what this bridge does is it helps China quickly move the troops between the north and the south bank of the Pangong Lake. This is activity near the LAC we are talking about. Chinese vehicles are already plying on this bridge, meaning it is already in use. Satellite images also show heavy military fortification near the LAC. China has constructed underground bunkers. It has constructed hardened shelters for armored vehicles. So back to the question, is China preparing for another intrusion? Satellite images show that the bridge is linked to an existing road network on the north bank of Pangong Tso. This network of roads leads to Kunak Fort, which happens to be a Tibetan structure. China seized it in the year 1958. On the south bank, the bridge is connected to Rutog. This is a Chinese garrison town. So what is it that China is planning? Speaking during a Quad meeting in Japan on Monday, India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, said, currently India's relationship with China is not good. Let me just read out what Dr. Jaishankar exactly said. I'm quoting here, we have views on China based on our experience. Our relations with China are not doing very well. The main reason for that is in 2020, during the COVID, China brought very large forces to the border areas between India and China in violation of agreements that we had with China, and that created tensions which led to a clash. People died on both sides, quote unquote. This happened in Ladakh. Dr. Jaishankar is talking about the Galwan skirmish. The skirmish was on the banks of the Pangong Tso. This lake has been a flashpoint between India and China. In August 2020, China reportedly unilaterally tried to change the status quo on the southern bank of Pangong Tso. And now you have Chinese actions hinting at another attempt at an intrusion. Just note the timing of it all. These are the final months before winter. After October, any troop movement in the Himalayas becomes extremely difficult. Once the temperature falls, the edges of the Pangong Lake begin to freeze. And by mid-October, the lake is completely frozen. At the heights, the temperature drops to sub-zero. Is China trying to make the most of the last pre-winter months? Are tensions boiling on the ground once again? Are relations further worsening? Just look at what the Indian embassy in Beijing has told Indian businesses. It has released an updated trade advisory. The Indian embassy is warning small and medium enterprises engaging in business with Chinese companies to exercise precaution. Let me just read out the statement issued by the embassy. I'm quoting here. The embassy has regularly come across several problems faced by Indian companies doing business with Chinese entities in China. It is requested that Indian companies take note of this advisory and its annexure documents and adopt adequate precaution while dealing with Chinese entities. All developments point at an uneasy direction, and we will continue to keep you posted with the latest. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.